Morning, everybody. Okay, I'm the HOD Mother Tongue for Green Primary School. Before I start, I would like to introduce my partners. Okay, one is Miss Madam Nadine. She's my subject head Malay. Say something.
Hello, hi, good morning.
Yeah, and also Miss Jaya. She's the Tamil coordinator for our school. By the way, both are P1 teachers, so you get to see a lot of them. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the overview of mother tongue language. We can't go into details. Because there's 3 different subjects. So I will keep my presentation short so that you can ask more questions later. All right. So what is mother tongue? I think most of you have taken mother tongue language, right? So let's take a look at this video before I proceed. Give me a minute. I'm going to share the video with another one. My screen is me. Okay, we can hear it better. Okay, hopefully we can hear. Okay, so can you hear me? I understand that y'all cannot hear me, is it? Can y'all hear me? Now can? It's all right? All right, okay. So sorry, Okay, so from this video, you know that actually there's advantage in speaking another language because a lot of people tell me, why need to learn mother tongue? So in our Singapore, we have this bilingual policy, which is actually adding us to our children, right? Competitive advantage and opportunity. And also mother tongue is actually supposed to be their culture, part of their culture, and through the language, through learning the language, they also learn about their culture and know that they are Chinese, they're Malay, they're Tamil, they're Indian. So they learn how to more in depth about their culture and speaking the language. So it gives them a competitive advantage and opportunity. So it's important to learn mother tongue. So we are very blessed in Singapore to have this. Now, so because of that, this is our vision and our mission. One is our defined vision is empowered learners, confident, joyful, and proficient communicators of mother tongue language. So we are hoping our students will be able to become such. And how do we intend to do that? Is through having marker.
Would this be better? Okay. Is this better? All right. So to empower PGPNs to be confident, joyful, and proficient communicators of the mother tongue language, and as what I mentioned before, is to help them to be rooted in the culture and the values. All right. Okay. So what do we do? Okay. Okay, so the curriculum overview of mother tongue languages. Okay, we follow the CPDD curriculum very closely. And for CPDD curriculum, the focus is on oral interaction and writing interaction. What do we mean? So if you look at this overview, listening and speaking skills are considered oral interaction. Okay, and the hope is that through this oral and speaking skills, by acquiring them, they'll be able to interact with each other using mother tongue language. And there's also the writing interaction, which is the reading and writing part. Okay, and we're trying to, so through the written interaction, they will be able to write to each other in the mother tongue language. So that's for the whole primary school curriculum, the whole emphasis is on these 4 skills. Now, so how is it taught in mother tongue languages? It's actually layered one over the other. So that's why primary 1, primary 2 is very important foundation year. Okay, it's important that at this stage, they actually acquire what's needed so that when they move on to the next stage, they will be able to progress further. Now, how do we know that your child is learning? we actually have an overview of their progress through a basket of items. So we don't look at just one thing or two things. In fact, we look at their daily work, the daily observation, the performance tasks and written tasks that we'll be giving them. And along the way, we give an overview assessment of the child. And we have a rubrics that we'll be sending to the parents at the end of semester 1, together with their work, that will actually show you what do we look out for the different skills that they're going to learn through the learning outcome and where they are now at the work. And they will be supported with some of the works that they have to talk about, and the teachers will talk about it to you when you receive it. Okay, so what about primary 1 and 2? What do we focus on? For primary 1 and 2, we focus on the oral interaction, speaking and listening, because this is really the foundation. Without being able to speak and listen, they will not be able to read and write well. So a lot of our activities and the CBDD curriculum, we actually focus a lot on that. And some of the internal programs will also emphasize on these skills. So this is the foundation before they move on to the writing skills at the P3 and P4 level. Now, how do we do that in BGPS? We're using a lot of ICT, harnessing ICT for engaged learning, using some of the games like Kahoot and all that. And we also have some self-learning program where they actually use the ICT equipment to learn by themselves. And we also focus a lot on having authentic experiences, such as cultural experience activity, and also speech and drama enrichment and class activities in our programs. But the most important thing, all three subjects, we actually look into game-based strategy where we actually infuse games into our teaching and learning so that the students will be interested in learning and they learn while they play. So some of the things that for the different curriculum, I just gave an overview of what we have. Like for example, in the curriculum for Chinese language, we have the oral interaction skills and vocabulary where they acquire through this interaction activities, some of the vocab in Chinese, and they learn how to use the words and vocab to communicate with each other. And they also have this pinyin, learn the Hanyu pinyin in term 1 and term 2 or primary 1. And this pinyin is important to help them to continue to acquire the language moving forward. Okay, and then there's also the literacy playground where they actually look at the passages themselves, and from the passages they learn how to read. Okay, and after that, they also use the extension of these skills in their real life authentic application through these activities. It's actually all in the CPDD curriculum. Now for Malay curriculum, is the check-up curriculum. Okay, and it actually comprises of all these things that is mentioned here. Later, I will give you time to talk to the different heads. Any questions you can ask them, and then you can understand more. Basically, we follow almost the same thing, just that they have arranged it in a thematic way. And for Tamil language, listening and speaking again is the focus. But however, Tamil language, just like Chinese, needs to focus more on the character itself. In fact, at the lower primary curriculum, they will just be recognizing Tamil letters, words, and phrases instead of reading a whole passage. That the one focus is to get them to know the characters. And again, penmanship, just like English, for all subjects, penmanship is important. Okay, some of the resources that you can use to help your child in learning is in the MTL portal. It's a very, very rich resource. So if you can take note of this website. I think the slides will be given to you. You can just go in. All the textbook interactive resources are actually packed in. There are also some games inside the MOE website that you can actually refer to. The teachers also will be using this closely in class. So it'll be helpful if you can go through it with your kid, with your child, before they even go for the session so that they have some background. Now, so actually today's talk is about you. It's not about me or not about any of the teachers here, but how do you help your child in learning the mother tongue language? Okay, so basically be a cheerleader. Don't say that they are not good. In fact, all of us are not from an environment where we speak mother tongue language. The majority of the people outside speaking English. So actually to the child, unlike we had the opportunity last time, right? It's very, very difficult for the child to pick up the language if they don't speak the language at home. So the only thing we can do now is to create this environment that helps your child to acquire this language. How? By reading, allow them to read more, can read more mother tongue books, listen more to those mother tongue programs, speak more, can try to learn the language with the child and speak with the child, and write more. Okay, if they can write, to write more, but focus on the reading and speaking and listening first. The writing part will come in when they are very, when they have built up their skills in that 3 aspects. All right. So we also felt that it was very important that we work with the parents. So what we did in our school is a special program. It's called Fun in Learning Mother Tongue program, where actually we have a variety of activities that you could do with your child. And we have been keeping this archive for almost 2 years. So there are plenty of activities in this palette which you can actually do with your child. And this program is really made so that to let the child see the authenticity of using the language, because daddy, mommy do it with them is very different from they see it from another person. So if daddy, mommy do the activities with them, means you know that it's very important and they actually enjoy the bonding time with you. While doing that, they also pick up the language and felt that it's very important. Okay, so this is a very important website. I hope that all of you can use it to continue to engage the child. We will be continuing to update this website, this palette with a lot of activities that's related to what we're doing in the school while you engage them further at home. Okay, yeah. So this link here, you can use a QR code to go in. The slides will be shared later, right? So yeah, so you can actually go in later. Okay, now before I end this talk, the whole focus of the talk is actually to let you know that it's really important for mother tongue language. We should start now, start young. And let's hear from Mr. Ng Chi Meng. Okay. Maybe watch the video first before I address it. Okay. And yeah. You still have enough time, right? Yeah. And
it's 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah. 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 Give me a minute.
One thing I wish I had done differently was to have worked harder on my mother tongue during my school days. Using Mandarin and some Malay has helped me connect better with people I meet. Being fluent in more than one language enables us to build valuable relationships with people from different cultural backgrounds. So let's create an environment to motivate our children to be good at their mother tongues.
Okay, there are 2 questions. One of them, sorry. What are the assessments we have? Okay, I will need, okay, I'm not sure whether I'm able to show you the assessment overview. You will receive this actually, sorry, wait, give me a minute. Sorry. Yeah. Is there another question to address first while I open up the yeah, it's all related. So I will need to show maybe the, okay, give me a minute. I have to show you the overview. That will be easier for me to explain. Yeah. Okay, I'm ready. Wait, I open up this will be easier. Okay. Yeah, I need to share this screen. Give me a moment. Okay, about assessment. Okay, so for primary schools, we actually have learning outcome for every subject. So every subject, there'll be one learning outcome. For mother tongue, there will be 7 learning outcomes, which will assess the child over the whole year. Okay, so not really assess the child as in just looking at the child like, okay, you do a language paper and then that's it. Your language skill is this mark. In fact, we actually look at a basket of items. This basket of items could include, for example, for listening skills, it could be their daily practice, our daily interaction with the child, or even we also have minor mini practices where they actually attempted. And from all this data, we actually use this rubric to assess the child in terms of their proficiency level. Okay, and another example would be our speaking skills. If you look at this, we actually have show and tell. We do have other interactive activities that are authentic. They even have to create, for primary 2s, they have to create a card and they talk about that. So there are many forms of assessment, but most importantly, it's not once off. We look at the child on a daily basis, and a lot of things comes from that daily work. It's not like last time we will have one exam, listening exam, and then we use that as the mark. So it's an overview of the child because we believe that the child needs to progress, okay? And we just not want to just label them as once off. In fact, we will be working very closely with the parent when we talk about all this, and we will be working with you to help them to develop to the next level. So it's the level of they're going to be achieved for the next round. So exactly what the assessment is, in fact, I won't say assessment. I would say they are just the different tasks that we are going to give the child to help the child to learn, but also evaluating where the child is. The reason why we want to evaluate where the child is so that we can have a understand where the child is so that we can help the child to do even better. So that is the whole essential part of assessment. So if you want to talk about assessment per se, it's not really assessment. It's an understanding of the child's ability and to help the child to move on to the next level. Yeah, so would that help? Yeah, so is there any other questions I need to take? Okay, the 新朋友, yes, I would say compulsory, nothing is compulsory. Okay, the question is 新朋友, okay, for those who are non-Chinese parents, maybe you're not aware, or those who are new parents, 新朋友is a paper magazine, okay, and also it has an online portal that comes with it, with a lot of resources. So we do use it in our school to actually help to extend the reading of the child because we need the child to read, right? So it's one of the things that we actually hope the children can purchase so that when we use it in class to extend the reading, they can learn. And in fact, we have already, most of the students will actually purchase that. So if they do have any concern, I can take your question. You can email to me, I can call you, but in short, yes, we do purchase it. We do ask our children to go and purchase this so that we can continue with some of the reading programs, activities in our school. Yeah, but if you have concern, do let us know. Yeah. Which one? CCM. Okay, CCM, Conversational Chinese and Malay. Does the school offer the Conversational Chinese and Malay, which has been introduced by MOE since 2007? And the timeline to introduce it and why delay in offering it. Okay, the Conversation Chinese and Malay program is targeted at the primary 3 and 4 level for our school. Yeah, so for our school, last year last year was the only year we stopped because of COVID-19. But moving on, every year we have been doing it in primary 3 and 4 curriculum time. But it's only a 8 sessions. There will be only 8 sessions and usually done after SA. Reason being because it's an extension of learning. It's an extension of learning. Yeah, so that's why it's not like every week we're going to have that. Yeah. So again, if you have interest in that, please do give me an email on that. What else is that? Spelling. Okay, do kids have spelling tests for their mother tongue? Oh, sorry, where is it again? It means already.
Yes. If yes, then
if yes, when would it start? Yes, there will be spelling. Okay, but it depends on the subject. Later I will let Miss Nerlene explain more for Malay. Okay, for Chinese and Tamil, we all have spelling. Currently it's every Thursday. Every Thursday will be spelling, but of course it will be suitable for their level. And do note that spelling is not a test, it's just want to know whether a child can spell, can write, okay? And it's also to help them to recap and on what they have learned. Yeah, so Ms. Nalin, you want to explain more about the Malay spelling?
Oh, okay, right. For the Malay language, right, the curriculum is designed in such a way that the children will acquire the language in a fun approach. So therefore, the learning of the words itself is exposure of high frequency words from the reading, from the activities. So we are not really focused on per se the memorization. There's no such thing as rote learning for Malay language. We are introducing the language in more authentic and in a fun approach. So therefore, it will be based on the phonics. So the focus will be on the phonics. The sound of the letters is same as like English, but rather it's more of the blending. All right. So focus on the phonics, and again about the using of the language itself, the words itself in the context. So the child will understand that the words actually bring meaning and use it in their conversation in everyday life. Okay. Is that suffice?
Ms. Jaya, you want to add on about Tamil spelling?
Sure. Tamil spelling will commence term 2. As Ms. Nolin has said, it is again getting the characters right. As you know, there are different pronunciations to different characters. So it is bringing all the characters together to make, to form a word, to gain a meaning to it. It's not like a test at all. It's recapping, revising, understanding. So at some point, we need to check whether they get it right or not, so that we can help them further. So that's the purpose of having this spelling activity. We should commence on around term 2 when they've learned enough characters to form a word. Thank you.
Okay, another question. If a student doesn't use the language she picks for mother tongue at home, does he or she need to take an extra tuition school outside of the school to keep up? I think Mr. Yong had mentioned about tuition, but mother tongue is a bit unique because as mentioned just now, that's why I emphasized a lot just now, is that you need to have that environment so that the child can learn. In school, we do taught, actually it's from the basic. That means by right, anyone who comes in should be able to pick up the language by going through the curriculum. But this comes with practice. So the question to ask, actually, I will throw back to you, is that would you be able to practice with the child after school? I have parents who are non-Chinese. The child is non-Chinese. My experience of many years, I'm very old. They actually did very well. In fact, they were doing higher mother tongue and they don't have tuition. But how? The parents learn the language with the child, and they actually speak with the child the language, and they read a lot, they listen to a lot of shows on mother tongue languages. And so it's a matter of what do you want? What do you want, and how do you help your child to do this? Because by right, to be fair, mother tongue is a second language. It's not as if it's a foreign language. It's actually a language that you're supposed to have a bit of basic knowledge, and you are able to speak the language at home. So you will need to create the learning environment. That's why it's very important that you go to the film website to do these activities with the kids. And also, it's very important that you expose the kids to a lot of things that are mother tongue. I would not suggest tuition. In fact, if you really want to expose the kid, give them things that they're interested in. Like for example, I told my mother tongue Chinese students, maybe if they really want, they can go for speech and drama with Chinese, or even calligraphy in Chinese lessons, so that they really see how the language is used in real life. I think that is more important than, unless you don't have time to sit down with them to learn, it's not that important. And also, there's also a lot of resources that you can use. Example, the mother tongue portal that I showed you just now from MOE, there's so much resources there. You can actually go through the child before letting them come into school. You don't even know how to read, you just need to play and hear the sound, repeat after the sound. So it's very, very simple. And going back, it's actually how much you support the child. Yeah. Miss Nalin and Miss Jaya want to add on further? Yeah. Okay. Now, there's another question. I really love the questions though. How do you support and assist kids from non-Chinese background taking the language in the same class at the same level as native speakers? All right, for primary 1, we don't encourage to pull them out, okay? Because learning a language, as mentioned, you need an environment, okay? So if they are pulled out, it's very hard for them to be immersed in an environment of Chinese speaking or mother tongue speaking language. So we still encourage them to be in the class at primary 1 because the things are still relatively simple, very conversational kind of languages, and we don't pull them out. But when it comes to primary 2 onwards, we do, for those who are still struggling, we do pull them out for smaller classes to give them more attention. Yeah. In terms of the MOE syllabus, we already in the syllabus itself have this differentiation. That's why we have the modular approach, where the students who are struggling will take the reinforcement or bridging class, where the students with the higher ability will be doing a higher mother tongue. Okay, so that's why in the curriculum itself is already there. But in primary 1, because we have not pulled them out, we'll be using a lot of differentiated instruction. Our teachers are all well trained, and they know how to help each other. And we also have little buddies, good teachers, little teachers that can help us to help the kids. Why? Because the most important thing is they must speak and they must listen to mother tongue languages, and that's how they will improve. So yes, and we will help them, and we will be working very closely with the parents. You can call any of us here if you need more help. Yeah, definitely not an issue. You want to add on anything? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Any more questions? Which one you want me to answer? All. Okay, so many questions. Okay, we'll try to address as much as possible. I only have 5 more minutes. For those who are not, if you are still keen on understand your what you want to know, do email me. My email is in the website. Okay, so that I can call you personally. Okay, which one do you want me to answer first? Higher Chinese, is it? Okay, higher mother tongue and higher Chinese. Okay, I address it together. Higher Chinese, okay, for higher mother tongue, yes, we offer in P5 and P6. Definitely there's criteria when we offer that, because we must make sure the child can cope when they go up for PSLE. In our school, we also offer higher Chinese at P3 and P4. Yeah, hope that addressed the question. And okay, my kid chose Hindi as a mother tongue. Well, I want to know whether my kid needs to attend either Tamil or Chinese classes since Hindi is on Saturday. Okay, the mother tongue classes are banded, so they will be sitting in their form class during mother tongue lessons. I will encourage all the NTIL parents or people or foreign students who are taking foreign language to prepare things for the kids to do, because really sometimes they finish it very fast, and they were then not doing anything meaningful, which is not good lah. So usually I will call the parents to say, hey, can you give them a bit more things to do? They have their Hindi homework, right? They can bring it in there, or you can provide them with other things that you like them to do at that time, reading or what. Yeah. Okay. Higher mother tongue is for which? I answered that already. P5 and P6. P5 and P6. Anything else? That's related.
It's probably conversational.
Okay. Okay. Is there a need? Does the student need to learn other mother tongue language, include Malay and Tamil in the school if she's Chinese? No. She will be just taking the official mother tongue language. For Malay and Tamil, unless, okay, there's no conversational Tamil. As just mentioned just now, the conversational Chinese and Malay, they can choose to do it in primary 3 and 4. It's an option. You know, they also can choose not to do it. Okay, yeah. And anyway, that's only 8 sessions. 8 sessions of like 1 hour. 1 hour. Yeah, 8 sessions of 1 hour for the year. Yeah. Any more? Okay, homework. Okay, lower primary, we reduce homework, okay? Because they are still just so new to the school. Let them get to come to school, be happy. The whole purpose of homework is to reinforce learning. As mentioned, for mother tongue language at least, a lot of things are speaking and listening. So aside from learning spelling, actually, I don't foresee that they will have homework. Most of the work will be done in class, and they need to learn how to do it before they can bring it home. We're not expecting parents to be there sitting beside them and then guide them word by word. That's not learning. What learning takes place in school first and then reinforce at home. Yeah. Anything else? HBL. In HBL, okay. That one, One HBL, yes, there will be HBL, but exactly when and where, yeah. More information will be given later, yeah. So, but don't worry lah, it will be not so fast, yeah, okay? All right, yeah. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay, it depends. It depends. Okay, if you're talking about, okay, what where's the question? We get to choose if they taking higher mother tongue or teacher will decide. All right, it depends. We will recommend at primary 5 based on their results and not only the results of mother tongue language, also English, Maths, and Science. Then if you're really interested and keen on continue to do higher mother tongue, you can opt for it. Okay, that's where you can choose. But at primary 6, the school will decide whether they can continue to take higher mother tongue. All right. Is there any more questions? If not, thank you very much. I'll pass on to the next